This is a series, Harrison. We have been looking forward to this series for nearly a full calendar year since the day or so after the College World Series when Jim Schlossnagle threw up the deuces to Texas A&M to take the job with his buddy at Chris Del Conte over at Texas. The Longhorns and the Aggies square off in Austin for a 3-game set at Dish Falk. You talk about pure cinema. This one is going to be absolutely nutty. I mean, Harrison, take your pick with storylines. Where you want to go? I mean, there's just every storyline you can think of. You got the Aggies taking on their former head coach. You got Michael Early, who had a cup of coffee in Austin, then came back to be the head coach. He's there now at Texas A&M, of course. You got guys that played against each other that are on these teams. You got guys that have transferred from other schools that within the schools that are on these teams. No Jared Spencer for Texas also. That's a big one. A&M all of a sudden is red freaking hot. They've taken down Tennessee. They've taken down Arkansas.
On the road.
On the road. They've won 3 series in a row. Texas is 16-2 in conference play. All they do is win anyway. They've swept every top 10 team at home they played. It is going to be absolutely electric. Harrison, I'll let you start here. Thoughts on this series, prediction for this one. Dude, this is going to be pure madness.
I'm not sure if this is starting after that little intro tease segment there, but I mean, it's like you said, which storyline you want to go with? I mean, and honestly, both teams are playing great baseball. Texas A&M playing their best baseball this season, obviously coming in 3 straight series wins.
Harrison, they've gone cold, hot. Now we just wonder what follows that.
Yeah, maybe is it a cold first half, hot second half, or
prolonged hot? Is it a cold, prolonged hot?
Time will tell.
They were cold for quite a while, so I mean,
exactly. But I mean, when it comes down to it, you really lean a team that is playing their best brand of baseball, and Texas A&M is doing that. They took down number 1 Tennessee on the road in Knoxville when nobody picked them. No one in college baseball covering it picked Texas A&M. No one, I don't think, even gave them a chance. I saw most of the people that pick college baseball pick'ems sweeping in Knoxville, and they got shut out in combined no-hitter in game 1. Went on to win the series, game 2 and 3. Then they go to Arkansas on the road later in the number 2 team in the country. What did they do? People said, "Oh, it's a fluke." It was a fluke in Knoxville. They found a way. Doubleheaders are weird. They go in there. They had another doubleheader. They end up taking 2 or 3 in the hog pen. Woo pig who? They went into Baum Walker and took down the Arkansas Razorbacks and Dave Van Horn's club. A time when people kept downing them. And now they're headed down into Austin, Texas at Dish Falk against all their former players that transferred, former head coaches. You got just the number 1 team in the nation. We talked about, Chris, at what point of the season did you ever think preseason Texas would be the number 1 team in the country and A&M would be unranked? No one had it. No one. You couldn't even bet a winning lottery ticket on that. But here we are, Chris. And when A&M's still not ranked, still feel disrespected, still got a bitter taste in their mouth, still have all these storylines. They've had this bulletin boarded front and center on a 65-inch at least TV or covering that span in the locker room since day 1 of the season. Not even game 1, day 1 of the fall probably. And you're facing Texas maybe at the right time, Chris, with all these injuries they have. You got Jared Spencer's out. You got Big 12 2024 Player of the Year in preseason 2025 Golden Spikes watch list. Max Ballou out. You got some other guys that are just maybe not playing their best ability of baseball. I mean, it's gonna be who steps up for Texas, in the Friday night role. How do they pitch that with, the depth of the roster and the pitching staff and the bullpen is going to get tested. Who are the guys? Who's going to step up? How deep is that Longhorn bullpen? How deep is that Hook'em bullpen? And A&M wants to find out bad. They want to find out in game 1. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. But this one, Chris, is going to be another rubber match, I think, in game 3. And when you're going on the road, I talked about business trip for A&M going into Vanderbilt. I picked A&M. I rode A&M. I said business trip for the boys. They go into Nashville, Tennessee, and take care of business. Not a shot. Not a chance. They got swept, right? I mean, How do you expect them to go into Texas, the number one team in the nation, that's playing in a brand of baseball that is win anyway, by any means, anyhow, coming in clutch when they need to and win a series? It's on the back of maybe the best player, number one pick in the draft, Jace Lavalette and company behind him with Terrence Keel II, Wyatt Hensler, Caden Kent, Hayden Schott. How do you forget Chief Vibes Officer Hayden Schott? I mean, you do it by playing what you've been known to do, the type of baseball you are built on, and the talent that you have, and playing the hottest baseball you're playing all season with several guys in an OPS over 1,000. And I think they somehow go in there, Chris, force a game 3 rubber match, but then you got to face just Texas's. Oh my gosh, Chris, how do you go in there and take a series with all these storylines, everything? But I don't know how, Chris, but they are going to do it. Texas A&M, I think, goes in there and pulls off some magical storyline, fits the bill college baseball season, upset of maybe the season, and does it because of the lack of, I think, depth that Texas is going to have in the bullpen, because of the injury of Jared Spencer specifically, and then the lack of depth of a catalyst player in the offensive lineup and production like Max Blue is. And they find a way. I know I say playing at home, winning on the road in the SEC is incredibly hard. Everyone's zigging, Chris. Everyone's picking Texas, number one team in the country. Everyone's this, everyone's that. You know, they can't do it a third time in a row. Aggies are going to gig them in Austin. They're going to give them in Austin. You know, you're going to see something happen. Limit the mistakes. Come in clutch with a runner score position. That bitter taste, Chris. That picture of Jace Lavalette sitting there in front of the dugout after the national championship after losing it. They're all still thinking about that. And they want to go in there and prove that they're not done this season. They're still on a roll, Chris. And they're going to go in there, I think, and find a way to win in Austin and gig them.
I want to set the scene here. Our guy, Jake McKeever, is going with the Texas Longhorns to take this series. So Harrison going with A&M. And like I said, Harrison, goes without saying, this is one that even if what happened after the College World Series last year didn't happen, this one still would have been circled, right? I mean, the first matchup between these two, as both members of the SEC, we're getting a 3-game set now. Like, it would have already been must-see TV. Now you've got the Jim Schlossnagle storyline. And, you know, I'm really glad that Texas A&M is heated up, because a few weeks ago, this series was, I mean, we weren't even sure it was going to be, you know, anything of note, right, with the way A&M was playing. It feels like it's almost been written in the script a little bit. Like, it was meant to be that A&M was going to heat up. This series was going to return to prime time, although A&M not ranked, which I think is kind of interesting. They didn't put them in the top 25 for this weekend. Either way, though, the emotions in this one are just going to be – I'm really curious which team handles the emotions better, because, Harrison, what's interesting, all of the pressure is on Texas here. All of it. Yeah. All of the pressure is on the Longhorns. 16-2 in conference play. They have faced no adversity in the form of, like, them losing. They've
played all these tough teams at home.
And they've played all these tough series for the most part. Longhorn fans, trigger warning, but they've played the most part at home. Let's call it for what it is. Hey, take advantage. They have. Number one team in the country, deservedly so. Number one in my power rankings, your power rankings, everybody's deservedly so. Number one in the country, no doubt. Here comes Texas A&M red hot. The loss of Jared Spencer is significant, but Harrison, I have picked against Texas, it feels like, nearly every turn, and Longhorn fans have let me hear about it. I did have them last weekend against Auburn, but I've picked against them a lot. Picked against them against LSU. They win that series at home. Picked against them against Georgia. They win that series at home. Heck, the series against Georgia, I cited an injury just like you did when Max Blue first went out, and they didn't miss a beat swinging the stick. With that being said, to get to the point, Harrison, the script has been written. The script has been written. This one has been circled on the Aggies calendar since last summer. And like I said, the script has been written. There is no way that Texas A&M is going to let Jim Schlossnagle beat them. And I don't think the baseball gods will allow it, because I don't have any problems with Jim Schlossnagle. He is a fantastic coach. We love that coaching staff.
Yeah.
Wish him nothing but the best. But with the way Jim Schlossnagle did, one of the best coaching staffs in the country, the script has been written. Texas A&M goes into Austin. They are going to get their revenge on Jim Schlossnagle. If there was one series that Texas A&M won all season long, it was going to be this one. I just don't see a world in which the baseball gods allow Jim Schlossnagle to get his cake and eat it too. And that's what it would be, essentially. You get to dive out of town, take the Texas job. You're not going to beat Texas A&M here also. They're playing their best baseball. The stars are aligning. Jared Spencer is out. Texas A&M goes into Austin. They get the job done. All of the pressure is on the Longhorns in a highly emotional series. A&M takes advantage. They take 2 of 3. The script has been written since last summer. It's always been the Aggies. I'm going with the Aggies here to get it done and get revenge against their former skipper. There is just no way I see Texas A&M allowing Jim Schlossnagle to beat them. It is personal for them. I'm sure it's personal for Texas, but it is personal to a deep, deep level for the 12th man. They take over Austin and take 2 or 3.
Wow. So. In Texas A&M, they're sharks. They smell blood in the water.
And when you're hot, hey, listen, and the Aggies are hot.
With an injury bug going around Texas right now, let alone the storylines and everything else around it. But it's going to come down to, A&M's pitching staff is pitching some of its best ball this season so far, especially the starters. But it's going to come down to Texas A&M's offensive production. 28th ranked in the last 7 games, OPS-wise, at almost 1,000 against Texas's pitching staff. That is the 8th best ERA in the country at a 2.69. And that is with Jared Spencer, which is going to be without, now. But I think it's going to come down to that. So we'll see, Chris. It's going to be an electric series, no doubt.
Harrison, I'll say this, too, in closing. He hasn't been great of late, but this weekend, Ryan Prager legacy game incoming. Ryan Prager legacy game in game 1. I think he is going to shove, and they will take game 1 in Austin. I have no doubts you will see the best of Ryan Prager on Friday night. No doubts. So, veteran, he's been looking forward to it. He will rise to the occasion. So, anyways, I'm going A&M. You are going A&M. Jake McKeever going with the Texas Longhorns. Funny enough, the Aggie going with Texas. I wonder if there's some reverse psychology in that.